Richard Drew wants all these photographers. They'd rather have people. That's okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm getting that painting you were talking about.
Oh, I wasn't lying, right? Terrifying.
That's the painting book, right?
Yep, that's it.
So I'll get this. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Whoever's watching this.
Sorry.
Just gonna get-
Yeah, except for the pilot.
Okay.
I was not in the pilot. I came on the first episode of the first season. I was an
And
extra.
Were you? I was going to say. So, did they sort of give you a line, and then you were so popular, and that they? How did your role develop?
I honestly don't know what went on behind the scenes. All I know is that about midway through the second season, I was outside just doing the extra thing and taking a break because I had a lot of downtime. And Marta Kaufman, one of the executive producers, walked outside. She was taking a little break too, and she asked me if I had any experience in acting. And I said, I do. I have a Master of Fine Arts in acting. And she said, well, that's good to know, and just walked away and didn't say anything. I had no idea what had just happened. But I came in the next week, and she said, oh, you have a character name now, and it's Gunther, and we're going to give you a line of dialogue in today's show, which to me, that was very helpful because I was, starving actor at the time. So I went, wow, this is awesome. And my line was yeah. So I got to say yeah. So I thought that was a one-off. About 2 weeks later, said, oh, you have some more dialogue. And it was something else. I started having fun with the character. And then eventually they established Gunther's love, unrequited love for Rachel. And they kept that story arc, which I think was maybe going to go maybe 2 episodes. They kept it going for 10 years. And I'm very, very lucky and grateful for that.
And did you have the white blonde hair, or was that a thing that they said you need to do that?
Oh no, I showed up with it by accident, honestly, a pure accident. The night before the first episode, when I went in as an extra, a friend of mine wanted to practice, they were stylists, and they wanted to practice bleaching someone's hair. And since I didn't have a lot of hair up there to begin with, I said, why not, I'll be a guinea pig. So they bleached my hair, and I showed up as coffee guy the next day. The producers liked the look, and they said, keep it. And I had to keep it for 10 years. So happy accident. I probably owe my friends who's the stylist 20% of all my gross earnings, because otherwise I don't know if Gunther would have existed.
No way. It was definitely you.
Oh, thank you.
So what does it feel like? I mean, this isn't Central Park, but it's over there. How does it feel to be back in that spot? What does it feel to you?
Well, it's really surreal. I mean, that's the only way that I can describe it. And this particular pop-up is far more elaborate than the ones that we've had in the past. This is literally like a Friends museum. If there were this is like the Guggenheim Friends display. I mean, it's amazing how many props and little things that just bring back memories to me, and including like Glynis, which is Phoebe's terrifying sculpture painting that terrified me on the set. That's here. I don't recommend hanging around it too long, but please go around the corner and take a look at that. It's the most terrifying thing you've ever seen.
Tell me, what's your favorite episode?
My favorite episode personally is the one with the prom video, which is where they go back and establish, they're all in high school, I believe, and it's when Ross and Rachel are first starting. It shows that he loves her, and the whole like Chandler thing when he had the flock of seagulls haircut. I thought that was brilliantly performed, and just a brilliantly written episode too.
And why do you think after 25 years people are still clamoring for it, love it, talk about it? Why do you think?
Wow, I mean, that's such a difficult question for me to answer, but I think it's so popular, or stays so popular, because everything is kind of timeless except for maybe the fashion, It was in the 90s, but the storylines and the characters are real. They come across as very real, and they're archetypes too. So I think the audience, when they're watching it, they can see bits and pieces of themselves in the characters, and they're all very varied and different. But they can also, everybody knows somebody like that. I mean, I know people who are like Phoebe. I don't know a lot of Gunthers, which I guess is a good thing, right? And I think the younger generation, it's also nostalgia. It kind of evokes a simpler time when not everybody had a cell phone in a cafe in New York. And now people are just like on their phones, but these people actually talk to each other. And they had lives. And not to say that it's anything diminishing by being so connected to technology, but people don't talk as much. And so I think it's an escape. And it makes you feel good.
I actually love that answer because my kids love Friends, and I would like to point that out to them, that look how much they were talking.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, if they had to write Friends today, the script would be like 3 pages long because they'd be texting each other.
Totally.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest place you've ever
Wow, I don't get recognized as much anymore because, of course, I didn't walk around after Friends ended keeping the Gunther look. Not that type of actor, so this was a character I played, which I often have to point out to people, like, you don't look like Gunther. I'm like, I know, that because Gunther is a fictional character that as an actor, I portrayed who had to happen to look like that. The weirdest recognition that I have was back in the day when the show was still in production. And I was in New York, and I got on a subway, and this was right after Gunther had spilled the beans about Ross having a little fling with someone else other than Rachel, and Gunther kind of destroys their relationship. I was on the subway, and there was a lady across from me who was just like glaring at me. I didn't have a hat on or anything, so I'm trying to avoid eye contact. But I kind of glanced up from pretending to read the paper, and I made direct eye contact with her. And she went, "Gunther, you're a horrible, horrible man. You destroyed their relationship." And I had to listen to that for like 3 stops. And I got off like 2 stops before my exit just to kind of get away, because that was like a different type of fan experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, attack.
Well, she didn't physically, but man, I was verbally assaulted, and it wasn't even me. I'm like, that's the character that I portrayed. I'm an actor. Please don't hurt me.
Were you surprised that they're going to take the episodes off Netflix and that there was like such an outcry?
I heard about it. I don't really keep up with those sort of things that much, but a friend of mine told me this, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to binge watch all of the Friends episodes now for the 8th time because it's going off on Netflix. And I was like, well, I guess it was a big outcry, and so they decided to continue it for at least a year or something. I don't even know what to say about that. It's surprising that people can watch them over and over and over and over again. Myself, I'm just now getting to the point where I can watch an episode of Friends and enjoy it the way that an actual fan sees it. And I'm like, oh, that's really a good show. It's really well written and well performed. When I was a part of it, it was hard to have that suspension of disbelief because I'm so close to it, And I'm like saying, oh man, Courtney's really good in that scene. And wow, Jim was awesome in that. Instead of like, oh, Rachel, and Monica, I couldn't separate the characters from the actors. But now I'm learning to do it now.
Last question. Who was your favorite guest star? They had a lot of great
Oh
stars
my
come
gosh,
through.
that is such a difficult question. My favorite guest star?
Or the one that stands out, I guess.
I would have to say maybe Sean Penn. When he came on the show, I was like, wow, he's doing Friends, which was awesome because a lot of really big name, well-established celebrities, and I'm not saying he's any better or worse than anyone else, but I thought he was just brilliant. And we also, we filmed the episode that he was in literally the week of 9/11. And everyone was very somber. It was not the best environment to film a funny sitcom in, but he brought a really soothing presence to the set, and we managed to get through it. He just had a real calming presence. That's the only way I could put it, and I was very impressed with him.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Great to meet
You
you.
right? And stand by, not yet, and go. Yeah, look like you're looking around. Let me try the fountain. That's cool. I'm going to get a close-up. We're done. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I guess my first question is, this is so nostalgic. What did it feel like when you first walked in? What does it feel like to be in the set?
Well, I walked in the door and I just burst into this huge smile because, first of all the work that was put into it, all the detail, it's really like walking back in time. So, yeah, I was filled with a wonderful feeling of reminiscence, and then just to come into this particular set, sit on this couch where I had so many scenes with Matthew, and yeah, it's a great space. I think the fans are going to love it.
And why do you think 25 years people are still clamoring for it? They said they were going to take it off Netflix, and there was like an outcry. Why do you think it still resonates right now?
I don't know that I can understand the magic that makes this show endure the way it does, and cross generations the way it does, and years the way it does. It's relatable. It's honest. The writing is incredible. The comedy is undeniably spectacular, and it makes people happy. Whether they're recognizing themselves in the characters or whether they're just appreciating the cleverness of the storylines and people's successes and failures, it makes people happy.
I have to ask you, what is your favorite episode?
I have many favorite episodes,
But I very much love the Valentine's episode where she says that she cut his heads out of the pictures and he can use them as puppets in his theater of cruelty if he wants to.
I thought that was a little work of genius, and being in labor with Rachel at the end. I mean, really all of them. I loved bringing Janice to life.
Were you supposed to be a smaller character and then kind of blew up because it was such good chemistry?
I was supposed to be on one episode, one and done. And really, nobody even knew what the show was going to be at that time. I think it was the third episode that I was on, maybe the fourth. So at that time, it was just a bunch of great people getting together and making this television show and hoping for the best. And yeah, that's it. It was one episode, and they fell in love with Janice, and that was fortunate for me.
And they had some really amazing guest stars come through that show. And you look back, like now, you're like, whoa, she was on. What were some of your favorites that sort of stood out?
It's hard to say because I was raising babies, for the better part of that time. So I didn't watch the way everybody watched. I just came to work. But, really, I've never seen an episode of Friends that I haven't adored.
What do you think when, people start coming through here and seeing how it is? Like, what do you think is going to be the reaction?
Well, first of all, I think, New York is so excited about this. They sold this thing out so quickly. People are really looking forward to having this experience. And it's very rare to be able to kind of walk into a set, a place that lives in your memory, that you have all of these associations with, and sit here and touch this couch and look at this table and feel yourself living in the environment where all of these characters live. So I think people are going to really flip out, and I think they're going to have so much fun. I think it's going to be hard to get people to leave.
Is it hard? I'm sitting here talking to you, and you have such a normal voice. Does everybody want you to do the Janice voice? Like, and is it annoying, or are you kind of like over it?
People ask me all the time.
And they want to hear me say, "Oh my God."
And it's not annoying, really. This character brought so much joy to so many people. So for me, it's easy, and I'm happy to give people that moment when they run into me on the street or wherever it is.
And have you had to do like voicemails or like messages to answer?
I have, yes. Certain people have reached out to me for birthdays
And bar mitzvahs and whatever. Can you leave a recording for my daughter?
so it has happened over the years.
And there must be other people that talk like that actually come up to you and say like, that's me.
You know what? That has never happened. Nobody has ever come up to me. But actually, in the very beginning, when the show was first on, I sat watching with someone I didn't know very well, and there was a joke of some kind in the script, and this woman sitting next to me went, ha ha ha, and I looked over and I thought, oh no, it's real. It's in my house.
And what did your kids think of all of it?
My kids are 23 and 19, so they really got into it in more recent years, and they love the show. They absolutely love the show.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? All right, let me just make sure I got everything. Yeah, do you watch the reruns?
I do watch Friends reruns, absolutely. Whenever I'm flipping channels, if I land on a Friends episode, I stay. I stop flipping. And if I'm on an airplane and I see that there are Friends episodes, I watch them because it's such, it's just wonderful. The show is fantastic all the time.
Yeah.
On
My
land and sea.
favorite was the game show when they fought over the apartment.
Yes.
And they had to like show every way that they know each other. That was like
It was fantastic. Just brilliant.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So nice to meet you.
May I get it right? And stand by, not yet, and go. Yeah, look like you're looking around. Let me try the fountain. That's cool. I'm going to get a close-up. We're done. Thank you so much.